Hello everybody, my name is Benji, and welcome back to Mindustry, specifically the Exogenesis mod once again. Now, there has been an update, and this update mainly focuses on Erekir, so we're actually going to go on ahead and switch over from our Surpulo little binge of what we're doing here, our little conquest, and we're gonna head back to Erekir to check out some of the new stuff that has been made and some of the new stuff that has been released. So first, to kind of walk back through the tech tree a little bit, the only things that I've noticed that are new in my looking around at different things, the first one that caught my eye was this one, the Hydro Beam node, and I don't know what it does, so we're gonna find out. And then the Hydro Beam tower, again, I don't know what it does, so we're gonna have to check those out. Nothing else new over in this whole area. The Afflict is still the last turret that I unlocked. The only other thing that's new is the Kiloton Forge. And I don't know why that's specifically here when it's also on Surpulo. Wait, it's not on Surpulo anymore. So I guess Surpulo probably had some updates too then, if it does not have the Kiloton Forge anymore. So now all I see is the Ton Forge, which actually makes me feel really good because I didn't want to have to use the Kiloton Forge anyway. Having to have Blast Compound be a component in the osmium smelting process was just a little bit of a pain in the butt, and I didn't feel like it was worth it. So the fact that the Kiloton Forge got moved over here is totally fine. Looks like the description for this needs to be changed as well, but it requires Surge and Thorium. Thorium is something that we have not yet unlocked here on Erekir. Now, the next things are actually in the Soltux faction, and that's because a whole bunch of these turret changes happened. The thermal had its cost reset, which is good. I've unlocked a whole bunch of things using the Time Warp mod and just having a Primodrium iron smelting thing up and running for a while now. Then it looks like for the tier 3 units, we actually have a new building, the Soltux Rebuilder, which is requiring thorium, so we really have to get thorium here on Erekir. And then the Ignition Forge, the Nuclear Fusion Furnace, and then the Hadal Furnace, which uses the Primodrium iron to build, and then gets more Primodrium iron from Tungsten, Vulcanite, and Surge, rather than just Silica, which is kind of nice. And then it requires more heat, so we're going to want slag heaters for that. And then there's also the Vulcanite Wall, which has 1,000 health in comparison to our beryllium walls that have 520. And then the large ones here have 4,000 health as compared to our beryllium 2,000. So it's a little over double, or a little basically double. And they are actually more than that even of the tungsten walls as well, which is quite nice. And then, of course, there's also the Primodrium iron walls, which there is a huge variant. And then there's also the large variant. This has 8,000, 18,000, 2,000, so that's pretty nice. And then there's also the Surge walls that have 4,000 health and 1,000 health, so the same as the Vulcanite walls, except they also arc, which is pretty nice as well. I don't know why we can see the Astrolite walls here, but that's totally cool. So I think the next thing that I'm kind of going to go on ahead and do here... What's wrong with you? Okay. That's a change. So the Ignition Forge, it looks like now requires beryllium and sand to make vulcanite, rather than graphite to make vulcanite. So my Primodrium iron is broken, But there's another glitch that I got sidetracked from with the Soltux Bulwark, what is this, 7x7? It just kills you over and over again, and it can't actually get out of it. So on this world, we have our blueprint here for the Primordium iron using the oxidation chambers, which is highly inefficient, but whatever works right now works. So this is broken because it requires it's currently taking input of the graphite, but it will need to take input of the sand, and I think the ratios are probably off as well. So I will have to fix that, and probably just do a full redesign anyway. For right now, where are we heading next? We're heading to Caldera. So we're gonna head to Caldera. We're gonna see what we can do, and I'm just kind of gonna bum rush for thorium. Think it's probably a good idea, and then bring you guys in and try to show off a couple of things. There's the slag heater. That's very, very nice to see. Large plasma bore. That's going to be a good upgrade. The atmospheric concentrator for nitrogen. That's going to be a very nice upgrade. Anything in the Soltux faction? Not yet. So once we have some thorium, I will bring you guys back in. And I'm gonna fix my... Well, I guess I don't really need to fix a blueprint because I never had a blueprint for the ignition. I will have to fix my blueprint for the nuclear fusion furnace while I'm on this planet. See ya in a second. Tiny bit of a progress update. I haven't done too much in the way of anything modded yet, but I did finally get around to make Surge blueprint, so now we do have Surge on Erekir. I don't really think I need to make it a tier 1, because if you want, you can add more to it. So that's a thing that's going to be really nice. Uses the slag heaters instead of the electric heaters to save on power, but that does obviously add a little take away from the hydrogen supplies in whatever we end up building it, but it's fine. I need to provide a power boost here because we are running out of power astronomically quickly, and that's a little bit of a pain in the butt to have to deal with. So I'd much rather just go on ahead and do this. And then as well, we're also gonna just go on ahead and have at least one slag heater there or an afflict, because the afflicts are quite good. The afflicts do really, really, really good work at taking care of everything, and these two afflicts kind of cover the entirety of this little outpost region here, so those are going to be really nice. I still need to progress through the rest of this zone, but I think I am going to go on ahead and establish some sort of area for making the vulcanite. I don't know if I'll end up making it this area. I guess I can get rid of the radar and that'll help. Yeah, I can't do it down there. It's going to be too power hungry for... I've got some more work to do, then we'll get back to the modded content, so give me a little bit longer, and I'll be back. Alright, new things have finally happened. I captured the entirety of the zone. We're currently on 2x speed because I've been trying to get some unlocks done while I do other things around my apartment. I don't think anything new happened anywhere else other than I figured out ways to use the heat from oxidation chambers to power afflict turrets, which is nice and quite handy in all honesty. The afflicts really kept me safe during all of this. I have a proper Surge blueprint, I'm pretty sure I showed that off, and then I have a new Primordium iron set up here. It is a rather thick boy. It's quite thick, but the sand goes in on the first belt, the beryllium goes in on the first belt, sand goes in on the second belt, graphite on the third, tungsten on the fourth, and then the Primordium iron comes out on the fifth belt at the top, and slag goes through on the bottom. And the slag is keeping up. It only has 5 of these things right now, which is nice. These do 80 liquid units per second. I thought they only did 40 liquid units per second. I won't lie. So each of these takes 40 liquid units, so each one of these powers 2 of these, and there's 10 total. So this all works out properly. I didn't even have to hook up these 2 that I had prepared just in case. I was prepared to do more. Had to, but I didn't, so we're all good. And it is working quite well. It's doing quite nice, which I very much appreciate. The next thing that I really want to get done is thorium, and I think Stronghold is probably going to be one of the places that we get that. Yeah, significant deposits of thorium. So if this is the one that I remember it being, it's going to take a bit of a minute. This is not the one. No, this was not the one I was. Okay. Sure, I guess that's fine. So I'm gonna try to get through here and get to thorium, and then once we have thorium, start with some of the things that require thorium, like the oxidation or the ton forge, the kiloton forge rather. The kiloton forge, and what else would probably... It's a new... Well, first of all, the primary fabricator will have... Second of all, the eruption drill will be nice to have. Double the building power. Titan's a decent turret. Disperse is a great anti-air turret. Nothing new on the Soul Tux front, but we will have this, the Hadal Furnace, which is Surge. Tungsten, Vulcanite, more heat, but more Primordium Iron. The only thing that sucks about that is the fact that it requires Surge. Which, I mean, it's just silica and slag and heat, which is already something that has to happen anyway for the Primordium Iron. So, I don't know, maybe it'll be fine. I'll just have to design a blueprint and kind of let you guys know what that ends up looking like. So, that's kind of where we're at right now. Once we get some thorium deposits done and dealt with, I'll go on ahead and get you guys back. Yeah, that's about it. Alright, we haven't unlocked thorium yet, but these things with, like, the variable textures look so cool. I really want to... Oh, A+. A freaking plus to the mod dev. Straight up, that's just great. That is just absolutely phenomenal. Just superb. Also, we should check out what these things do. Do they do anything? Doesn't even really look like they have anything that kind of exists, I guess? Do they have more health or something? Health 90? Health 90? Their build time is longer. Their power range is 10 blocks. Power range is 10 blocks. There's no power capacity for these guys. What's the point of these? Well, I'll be honest, I can't really tell what the point of them is, so they're probably not going to end up getting used. Yeah, I'm gonna go find thorium. I'll be back. Alright, this zone is way harder than I remember it being. I haven't even begun to start touching any of the new stuff yet. I've literally only been trying to capture this zone, and it's been like a couple hours, and I'm losing track of time. So, I have a tier 3 modded unit. It is the Magma, which I have 5 of. Their range is rather limited, but they have high damage and high health, which I'm quite appreciative of, and we're going to kind of see how they handle once we get through this next base's main line of defense. And I remember this one sucking pretty bad, so we're gonna split our forces up a little bit more than we usually do. Because we usually don't really split up our forces all that much. We kind of just bum rush all at once, but there's a lot of splash turrets here, if I remember properly. These walls have been coming in super handy, by the way. So, yeah. The walls are epic. Love them. So we're going to split up the forces here. We're going to have like 3 assault battalions, kind of, in terms of the split. We're kind of going to have like a whole bunch of range. No, don't start shooting me yet. Okay, now move in for the bum rush. You guys stay a little bit more down. You guys stay a little bit more up. Everyone focus the afflicts. Now focus these. Focus these. You guys focus on the top. Everybody else focus everything else. We lost a lot of the locusts, which are the tier 2 tanks. We didn't lose a whole ton of everything else, though. Super duper nice. Alright, pull back. Stay in range enough that they cannot rebuild, but not in range enough that we start getting demolished. Pull back the extremely injured units, send them to the healers. Move in the modded units. Well, I should have 6 now. Yeah, 6. So, send in the modded units. Their pathfinding seems a little bit buggy, but I think that's just tank logic. Logic isn't great overall. So I am just going to move in these guys on their own. They're like miniature fuses, nice. They're loud. And their damage output isn't great, but it's also not abysmal, so I'll take that. And let's move in the rest of the units as well. Let's just kind of move everybody in at once here. And the core, I believe, is farther in this way. It's they're quite loud. There it is. Come on, just take it down. Nice. 3 enemy cores. And I'll be honest when I say I have no idea where exactly they are. You 5 stay here with me, please. Alright, so they're not up here, which means they're all farther down. Alright, cool. So that's kind of showing off those guys. The only other thing that I want to show off tonight, if we can even get to it, is the Kiloton Forge, but I don't even know... we can't even show off the Kiloton Forge because we can't make Surge without slag. So, actually, I think that's just going to be it for tonight. I'm kind of out of time for recording anyway, so I'm not super upset by that. So yeah, that is going to be it for this one. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. But without further ado, adios, sayonara, au revoir, hasta la vista, das vidania, wiedersehen, ciao, and goodbye. Have yourselves a fantastic rest of your day. Get some sleep if you need to. Don't forget to stay hydrated. This video is in the bag, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later, y'all.